Hello, everyone. Welcome, and happy Friday to you here. It's Friday in North America. Happy Saturday if you're in Australia, New Zealand, Asia. Yeah, it is a lot of fun to be here with you, and I hope you're having a great day. My name's Tomas Garza, and this is A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. And I'm so happy that you're joining me here today. We have had people joining us here on the broadcast from all over the world just this week. We've had people from French Polynesia, from Pakistan, Europe, and also North America. So welcome wherever you're joining me from. I've got a lot of powerful and fun ideas to discuss here. And the context is A Course in Miracles. More specifically, it's lesson 110 in the workbook. And lesson 110, let's just jump right into it, is I am as God created me. I am as God created me. Yesterday, if you'll recall, in lesson 109, we looked at another very powerful idea. I rest in God. I am as God created me. So there is a lot of power behind that. There's a lot of peace behind that. In fact, the ultimate power is behind that. The ultimate peace is behind that. It's infused in that statement. And to sit with today's idea will bring you tremendous peace. Now, I'm not going to sit here and promise you that you'll be fully enlightened in 15 minutes. I don't know why we as human beings expect that of ourselves. And we do that, right? Maybe you've done that in spirituality, in spiritual practice with meditation. If you don't acquire the wisdom of Buddha in 5 minutes of meditation, then have you given up or said, yeah, this just isn't for me or something? We always do that as human beings in one way or another, right? And even if all that you do with an idea such as this is sit with it and recite it to yourself, that is of tremendous benefit. This is truth. I am as God created me. We're not who we think we are, which is a beautiful thing, right? We become attached in the world to this physical body, which experiences aches and pains. It experiences illness and infection. We stub our toe, things hurt. And then we're, of course, also alternating that with ecstasy and great bliss. And it's up and down and up and down. And the human realm is characterized by that inconsistency. We're doing great 1 minute, poorly the next. It's up, down, like a yo-yo, for sure. And that's why it's often analogized to the experience of playing with a yo-yo as it's back and forth. Now, wouldn't you like to have more peace in your life? Wouldn't you like to have the experience, and I mean the constant experience of being limitless? Limitless. This is ultimately who we all are. So this workbook represents a number of exercises and practices to bring that back to our awareness. We discover that in truth it's never left. What has happened is we've gone off on a wild goose chase. We've gone off chasing after the latest shiny object in the world. But that's what we do with our collection of stuff. With our collection of things like houses and cars and clothing and bank accounts. And nothing against any of that in and of itself at all. Right? It's quite simply something that we do to divert ourselves. And we discover that a brand new car doesn't necessarily bring perfect peace and constant happiness. And by the way, Cindy and I have a brand new car. We have a brand new car in the driveway. It's just right outside my window, and it's really nice. And we needed it, so we're happy to have it. However, it's not the solution to what we're seeking in the world, right? It's not going to bring us perfect, constant peace and limitlessness. Why? Because, well, the first payment was due this month. There's gas and insurance and all of that. And then in purely fiscal terms, you drive a new car off the lot, boom, it's worth several $1,000s less instantly. You know, not to be a buzzkill or anything. It's a really good example of how we place our faith, place our expectations on objects in the world, thinking that that's going to bring us happiness. Now, there are many, many different modalities. There are many, many different manifestation techniques that are all about sating our desire. They don't bring ultimate happiness, because a car is not going to bring you the peace of God. Sorry. Hate to be the bearer of that kind of news, or actually I don't. I'm meant to be the bearer of that kind of news. I like this. Yeah, a car is not going to give that to us. A new pair of pants is not going to give that to us. What's going to give that to us is our own determination to see. It's our own determination to experience our true nature for ourselves, and it is our own determination to practice, whatever your practice looks like. You don't have to be following the workbook in A Course in Miracles in order to derive tremendous benefit from these lives, because we're talking about universal spiritual principles. This applies no matter what your external practice looks like or doesn't. Maybe you don't have one. And either way, you're more than welcome to tune in to this live stream. Everyone in the whole world is welcome here. This applies to everybody. I am as God created me, perfectly limitless, right? When you think of God, it's limitless. You may have been raised in a tradition that pictured God as a man with a beard. I was raised in the United States, so in any pictorial depiction of God, which by the way is ridiculous, because God's not an image of a human, God's not human. This was a white guy with a beard, and those were all the pictures that I looked at when I was a kid. That's not what it is. Nor is it who we are. We are as God created us, perfectly limitless. So it's beyond form. Love is abstract. It's completely beyond form and thought, for that matter. It's to be experienced. So this is what spiritual practice is all about, is experiencing the truth, the living, breathing reality of our true nature, of who we are. I am as God created me. We are one with God. We are as God created us. Love extends only itself. God extends only himself, or if you prefer, herself, themselves, itself, doesn't matter. It's all beyond language. Spirituality is about bringing this awareness and bringing this experience into our life. That is why the workbook calls for practice periods. In other words, meditations with every idea that it presents, and today's is no exception. And here in the written commentary in A Course in Miracles, in italics, there is a suggestion that you begin each practice period for lesson 110 with reciting the following language. It's very short. I am as God created me. His Son can suffer nothing, and I am his Son. I am as God created me. His Son can suffer nothing, and I am his Son. Yeah. You can suffer nothing, ultimately. In the world, we suffer greatly. We're in fact doing that to ourselves, even if it looks like other people are doing evil or atrocious or unhelpful things to us. If it looks like it's coming to us from outside, it's actually our minds that are suffering. So the practice of forgiveness, the practice of allowing, the practice of getting out of our own way, everything that we're talking about in spirituality is leading us to the point where we realize, okay, it's all internal. We've made all of these choices that have caused us untold suffering. Yeah, untold, right? A lot. So having made the choice for that, we can choose otherwise. That's the beauty of all of this, is we can choose to recite these words. I am as God created me. His Son can suffer nothing, and I am his Son. Now, if you're new to A Course in Miracles, you'll of course notice that we're using the word God, and we're using the term Son of God. So, of course, the Son of God can be anyone. This refers to everybody, man, woman, doesn't make any difference. That's just language that we're using. And ultimately, language is just a symbol anyway. If you think about it, it's true. Yeah. Words are not the things that they stand for. The word shirt is not a shirt. The word nose is not a nose. It's just a collection of sounds that we have formulated and agreed is going to stand for meaning something that it's not. Words are simply symbolic. So whatever word you use for your higher self, spirit, the universe, God, use whatever you personally feel most comfortable with. So long as we all understand that we're talking about reality, we're talking about our true nature, who we really are. God, being love, extends himself, itself, herself. That is actually all that love is capable of doing, is extending itself. True love is not conditional. It's not dependent on whether someone behaves according to our exacting specifications or not. It is not dependent on any external circumstance. And as we see, even in the world, it does not care if people are in two different countries. It doesn't care where someone lives. It doesn't care if we're talking a group of people that they're on another part of the world, a whole nother continent. Flows right through all human obstacles. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. It's no longer dark. It's as though the darkness were never there. It's shown away by the light. It's canceled. This is a very powerful idea and a very powerful practice, and I cannot stress this enough, that simply to sit with and recite today's idea brings healing to the mind. It brings healing to the mind. It brings peace. It brings safety, certainty, comfort, and power. Why? You're resting in and with, and yes, as the power of God. So I invite you to recite these words. I invite you to practice this as often as you remember to do it today. And I'd love to hop on here with the comments. A little briefer today. This one's just really one of those short and poignant and powerful lessons. It's a very, very powerful idea here. So for those of you who are tuning in and catching me on the replay here, feel welcome to leave questions or comments. And yes, and Louise, hi, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. It's wonderful to have you here. Any comments or questions that you may have, I do absolutely intend this to be a dialogue and a resource for you. So if you have questions about today's idea, if you have questions about A Course in Miracles or spirituality in general, please feel welcome to reach out and leave a comment right here. People have left some amazing and beautiful, profound questions on this live stream just this week alone. So you never know, if you ask a question, who else may need to hear that? So yeah, I do invite that. And if I don't catch it here on the live, I will catch it on the replay because I do check the comments throughout the day. So thank you so much for tuning in here. Oh, hi, and Louise, I'm glad this is just what you needed. Yeah, you're most welcome. Yeah, it's what I'm here to do, is to share my experience with you. If you're just tuning in for the first time, A Course in Miracles has been at the forefront of my own spiritual practice for the last 8 years. And it's really my absolute honor and pleasure to turn on the camera every day and just share with you from my experience. So I'm glad that you found something of value to take away from this today. And I hope that you may join us again here. And thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Have a great Friday and a beautiful weekend, guys.